Now in the last video I introduced this series and started assembly on the dual Amiga power supply. I highly recommend for you to watch that video first if you haven't done already, so this one will make sense. Yes, there's a cat in the background. Anyway, we continue where we left off from last time. What? Do check out PCBWay. They do high quality custom PCBs, single and double-sided, as well as both surface mounted and through-hole assembly. They have a very fast delivery service, so you will get your PCB delivered to you in no time. Okay, so that's 2 earths, 2 neutrals done. Let's put that aside and continue with the low voltage side of the circuit, of the power supply, sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just working this out, because there's no way to screw them down, so I'm going to stick these down with epoxy resin. Hopefully that'll work. One thing I wish to know, the old Commodore 64 power supplies, why on earth did they encase the entire thing in epoxy resin? You know, what was the exact reason for that? I mean, it must have done it for some reason. There must have been some freaking logic behind it. So I'm kind of curious on what the reason was behind that. If anyone knows, please comment. I mean, it didn't do the 7/8 regulators any good there. They overheated and ended up letting the freaking full voltage through anyway, which destroyed a lot of Commodore 64s out there. So yeah, not good. Actually, before I stick these down with epoxy resin, I want to test them to see if they actually work. So let's do that first. I think it'd be wise to do that. So let's first turn that on. AC voltage 240 volts. Okay, good. DC voltage should be 5 volts. Yep, perfect. V2 should be 12 volts because it's plus 12 volts. V3 should be minus 12 volts. Yep, perfect. Okay, so this one works perfectly. And unscrew this again. Let's try the other one. Neutral, live, earth is connected. Okay, that should be good. Let's test AC. Oh no, test AC should work anyway. 240, it's there. It's lighting up. But I like to test it anyway. 5 volts. Yep. Plus 12 volts. Yep. Minus 12 volts. Yep. Perfect. Actually, you know, before sticking these down, let's sort out the front plate of it and also the back plate and see, you know, and then see like how they are in clearance and everything, and then just stick them down accordingly. Because what if I stick them down and they need to be just shifted, even if it's just like half a centimeter down back or half a centimeter front, then I'm stuck, aren't I? I got myself one of these. It just comes in kind of useful. Just check which one it actually goes through. It's like in between this one and that one. Do you know the annoying thing is about these steppers? Is that it goes from 6 to 8, right? I need a 7. So that's annoying. Okay, again, unfortunately I don't have any clamps or anything like this. So I'm gonna just freehand this. Is not a good idea, but so it goes in this one, the third one from the thingy. Let's see which drill bit goes in there. Well, I'll probably have to do an 8 for all of them because there's no 7. So this one was 8 and that one was 7, but there's no 7, so I have to do 8 for all of them, which sucks, you know, unless I find a drill bit. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I got a cord grip, so okay. So that's 22, so it's 11, and 5 either side. Decided all the wires are just gonna come out the back. I personally never understood the design of this in the sense of, you know, one comes out the front, one comes out the back, and you're just going like this forever, and it's really annoying. So yeah, all the wires on my power supplies, which I assemble, are gonna always come out the back. Kind of gonna be a nice color theme, black and white, like a piano sort of color theme, because even these are going to be white on them. So yeah, it'll sort of go. Okay, so let's get both of the output cables. So what I'm going to do here is measure them out so they reach the other side of, because that's where, you know, I'm gonna have to mess around with the wiring of this. Obviously this is gonna go in the back, this is the front. So I'm gonna put it there and I'm gonna reach there, but either way, this needs to reach at the other side. Okay, so the second cable here, the second output cable, do it at the same length and tighten that. So the freak is a screwdriver gun here. I see the nicer surface on the outside. Make them as flush as possible on each side. Sorry. I'm gonna get more of these cable grips. They're really good. I'm always needing them with projects. Yep, perfect. Love that. Okay, so tight on each side, cable grip good. Now the center one. I'm gonna probably do the same thing, just make it obviously that's gonna be on the inside of it. Take this as far as it will go. Yeah, perfect, flush, love it. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm gonna get myself a couple of packs of these. They just come in handy. Now each of these end wires has got the output. What I'm going to do is just like wire this in and, you know, make it be the input there, and, you know, we have that wiring sorted. And from what I remember, this thing was not the easiest thing to wire. This IEC thing. No, it wasn't. I think I remember wiring one of these before, and you have to be very specific about this. It's just annoying. But yeah, okay, so we have... It's easier wiring a plug, to be honest. Okay, so I've connected them to this IEC socket here. At first they were just all screwed on. They're just screws on loops, on holes, and I was like, didn't know what to do, so I just like soldered them on, and there was really strong connection right now. So I think you're supposed to kind of like have them into those you know, those loop things, whatever the freak they call them, those clamp those claw connectors or whatever they are. You're supposed to have them at the end of them, at the end of these, and just crimp them on. But obviously I don't have that right now, so I just solder them in, and they're really strong. So yeah, that's secure. I'm confident with that. So let's kind of screw this back on and continue with the other. And I can faintly hear Rich playing Sits downstairs. That's kind of a nice warm feeling. You can faintly hear them in the distance. In the background, sorry. Yeah, that's the kind of household I want to live in. Right, so now this part of things I'm gonna be a bit apprehensive about, because I'm gonna have to do some cutting and some, you know, some square straight thing. I'm not good at this stuff, you know. Rich is actually way better at this stuff than I am, like getting things straight and square and level and everything like this. I suck at it. So it's not gonna be 100% accurate. I just hope I get it as right as possible. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just like try my best here measuring all this stuff. The switch squares, that's why I always, have you noticed, I always choose round switches for like stuff, because it's easier. You just drill a freaking hole and push it through, end of story. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's like, it's not tilted or anything. I may be good at many other things, but I'm not good at this. So let's measure this out. Pencil. Ruler. Right, okay. So these switches are going to be in the center, dead center. So let's measure dead center, because these actually go outward a bit in the center and then like slope back in. So I'm going to measure from each edge, actually. 2.2 across. I've just burnt myself with hot glue there. There's a freaking blister and it's the worst. So I'm gonna have to avoid using it. It's annoying. So I've measured out each of the cuttings. The switch is going to be center, and there's going to be 2 of these screen things. They call displays. Forget the word. Each side of this thing. So let's kind of like mark out the scrub. Kind of get the idea. There we go. So it's just, I'm gonna cut all these out, and I'm gonna have to get the Dremel out, and I think I'm gonna use this Dremel. What the freak do you call it? I'm not good with words. I just do things. Yeah. It's called a Dremel flexible shaft. So yeah, that's what's written on the box. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Here's your Dremel flexible shaft. It just kind of, you know, there's more control over stuff what you do. Ah, that feels so good. It's so cold. Is this freaking blister with this stupid glue gun? But yeah, oh, that feels so relief. It feels so good. And yes, to those of you making stupid jokes, yes, I'm finding relief with the flexible shaft. Okay, I'm just gonna get on with this thing now. Right, how the freak am I gonna prop this up? I need my stuff. From there. Okay. I'll have to just hold it. Basically, what else can I do? Ideally, this would be better hanging from a height, because you have to keep it really straight. But I don't have a freaking anything to hang it out at the moment. Okay, I need this to be propped up a little bit, just so that I can kind of, you know, work with cutting straight here. Okay, so I've undercut these so I can just file them out to the line. Okay, so I've cut these out the straight as I can do. Yes, they're a bit rough around the edges, literally, because, you know, I'm not a professional, and, you know, it's just a home job, and I don't have all the equipment to do this fancy stuff. So you know, I'm not good at creating, like, I'm good at designing aesthetics, but I'm not good at actually like creating it. So anyway, let's have a look. The moment of truth. If these things fit and how well they fit. To be fair, not bad. I mean, it's a bit shaky in there. I'll just like hot glue it into place. But it's not bad. Let's put all four in there and the switch in the center as well. Faceplate's done. To be honest, I'm kind of a little bit proud of myself that I've like done it somewhat straight. I mean, it's like, obviously it's not going to be exact because I don't have the equipment nor the skills for this kind of thing, but I kind of like it. Sort of excited to put it all back together and just like get it working. I might sort of hot glue these things like into place a little bit, just to kind of like stop them from wiggling around and just fill the gaps a little bit. But other than that, I'm kind of happy with that. Considering nobody's ever taught me how to do this, and you know, I'm just like learning by myself, and you know, I haven't even practiced on this yet, this kind of stuff yet. Well, I have in a way in the past. I've sort of like done it and messed things up. But that's like way in the past. Anyway, let's start wiring this up now. Okay, so I'm under a bit of a dilemma here. No, originally I was thinking, this is obviously power supply 1, that's power supply 2. Now this is gonna be like 12 volt line, 5 volt line, 12 volt line, 5 volt line on this side. And I was gonna, you know, do the current on the 12 volt line and the current on the 5 volt line. But I just realized, you know, when I was testing earlier on, these stupid freaking ammeters are tied to ground. As in, you know, you have to measure it, rather than measure it on the positive line, like in series, you have to measure it in the negative line in series. And the problem with the negative line is that everything is in freaking common here. And everything is common going to the Amiga. So I've got no freaking choice but to kind of, there's no way I can separately, because look, this is the ammeter ground, well negative, well this is the ammeter basically. You know, you put the circuit, put this in series with the circuit, these two thick wires here. And then you have the supply voltage here supplying the meter. But this is the common ground. Now, if I were to get like a multimeter and test for continuity between the supply ground and also the ammeter, this continuity. So this is bound to ground. It's just a backward way of doing it. I always thought ammeters, you know, they're independent of any rails. It's these freaking ammeters, they've been designed back to front. And it's a bit annoying, to be honest, because it's like, you don't have much freedom with it. Unless there's another way, which it's so obvious to my face, which I'm just like not even seeing. But I can't think of anything else. Good morning, and Arabic coffee. And probably an overdose of it actually, because it's strong to begin with. But this is quite a big mug for Arabic coffee. Yeah, I decided to kind of like call it a night and mull over it throughout the night, this issue that I'm having with the ammeters. And I've got one little idea to test. Okay, so now with regards to this ammeter, I want to test, because it seems to be polarity sensitive as well, which, to be honest, I'm not sure if ammeters are. I mean, this seems to be this one bound to ground, which I find very unusual, because you cannot test the positive voltage. However, I've noticed that when you swap them around, the ammeter doesn't work, so it's polarity sensitive clearly. And yes, I have hot glued these in place because there's like very slight gaps where I've overfiled slightly, and it's like making the actual these things like slightly wobble, which I don't like, you know, so I decided to just hot glue them in place. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here for the day. There is a little dilemma which I have been working on, but this video is quite long already, so stay tuned for part 3 next time, where I'll explain what's happening and what my workaround plans were. By the way, I loved your heartfelt comments in the part 1 video. I had no idea I was missed that much. It really made my day actually, you know, to read your heartfelt comments, so thank you so much for your love and support, everyone. I really appreciate it. Many thanks to all my patrons for supporting my channel, especially to those supporters of mine who deserve an extra special thank you. Rishi Carpet, Electronscape, Axel Dominator, Stephen Leary, Aaron Metcalf, Starlight Minako, and Chris Sablensky. Do see the video descriptions below to check out my patrons' websites and YouTube channels.